I'm Brooke, reporting to you live from UC Merced, and I'm going to tell you about how the life of a young African-American woman revolutionized the field of science forever. Her name was Loretta Pleasant, most commonly known as Henrietta Lacks, the woman with the extraordinary immortal cells. She was born in 1920 in Roanoke, Virginia, had a middle school education, and was a mother of 5. When she was just 4 years old, her mother passed away. She then moved in with her grandfather and cousin David Lacks, who she ended up marrying and having children with. Before having her 5th child, Henrietta was complaining about a strong pain in her cervix, but the doctors released her hours after visiting the hospital, informing her that her and her unborn child were going to be okay. After the baby was born, however, the pain in her cervix only worsened as the days went by. In addition, she had been bleeding at irregular times when she was not menstruating. Determined to find out what was wrong, Henrietta went to the Johns Hopkins Hospital to diagnose her excruciating pain. It didn't take long for her doctor, Howard Jones, to determine that she had cervical cancer. As she desperately wanted to bear more children, she decided to get radiation treatment, where her doctors discreetly removed 2 cervical samples without her knowledge. Just months after she was diagnosed with cervical cancer, Lacks passed away on October 4th, 1951. Most people thought that was the last of Henrietta Lacks, but were subsequently astonished to find out that the cells the doctors took from her cervix were immortal. The cells, which scientists call HeLa cells, a combination of her first and last names, can reproduce an entire generation every 24 hours. For the first time, researchers had the ability to replicate the same type of cells for decades, while most cells only live for a matter of days. Because of her cells, researchers can now study diseases and test how sensitive humans are to new technological substances. Some of the drugs HeLa cells help develop vaccines for are the polio vaccine, HIV and AIDS, and are continually being used to study potential cures for leukemia and other types of cancer. Nearly 20 years after Henrietta's death, the Lacks family finally found out about how Henrietta's physician took her cells without her knowledge. Neither Henrietta nor her family agreed to their DNA being used in research labs and being duplicated and sold on a daily basis. The sad thing was that Henrietta was getting no recognition for her contribution to the science revolution. In addition, the Lacks family made no money off of Henrietta's contribution, while research companies were profiting millions every day. Years after her death, researchers found that the cause was actually HPV, which was a dangerous and also common disease in the 1900s. Since that realization, researchers have also been able to create HPV vaccines, which has immensely decreased the rate of HPV in teenage girls today, according to Stats Newsletter. With that, HeLa cells have significantly impacted the lives of many individuals, and researchers continue to test different diseases in order to create vaccines so that incurable diseases can be prevented. In short, life today would be very different if it were not for Henrietta Lacks. Thanks for watching!